fucking pretty metal, man, when you think about it. Never really thought about it. Let me fucking pretty metal, man. When you I was watching our show.
Are we fun?
I'm that big of a fan. Yeah. Fucking we're great. Hey everybody. Welcome to Fat Man Beyond. I'm Kevin Smith.
I'm Marc Bernardin.
Hey.
Oh.
We got a show for you kids. It's fucking called Fat Man Beyond and whatnot. We are not patriotic. Is the State of the Union over?
I know it depends how long-winded President Biden was, but it should be over.
It happened earlier, right? We're
Yeah,
not competing with the president, are we?
unless he decides it's time for Uncle Joe's story time. And
they're saying in chat it's still happening. All right, well,
it's all right.
we didn't mean to compete. I mean, we're not competing. Nobody gives a fuck about us. But
Wait, MSNBC cuts live to Fat Man Beyond.
it's true. Rachel Maddow was just like, "Hey, man, what do Kevin and Mark think?" This is not a political statement. This is us just doing the show when we can. Took us a long time to get to this point, man. Finding a day where it's possible, but now it's happening.
We're here.
Hopefully we could give you some good news. I'm sure the president said something positive. Now we'll say a bunch of positive things. For example, one of us has seen Dune enough times for both of us.
Broadcasting live from Arrakis.
Yeah, Lisbon.
Siege Tabr.
Arrakis, Dune, Desert
Planet. I have to see these movies twice because the first time my heart, the David Lynch version of my heart is still fighting to hold on. And so the second time is when I can abandon that the sort of imprint that movie made on me and see the new thing with fresh eyes.
Or as you put it in text, you're gonna wash that Lynch right out of your hair.
You're giving me too much credit because I don't think I ever said that. Thank you.
It is a hell of a thing, kids, living in this weird town. Remember last time we did this show, we talked about how me and Mark were on a cruise. And I did the show from my mom's house. I was in Florida. Then I went up to Jersey, and we had a benefit on Friday night, and on Saturday night, a benefit screening of A Father's Promise. Then they played live music. It went very well. Then on Sunday morning, I got on a plane and came back to Los Angeles because by Sunday afternoon, I was going to UCLA to present a Lifetime Achievement Award to John Waters at the Eddie Awards, the ACE, Americans, whatever editors, ACE.
Not a cable ace. Not a cable ace.
Not cable ace. They even still do that. Does cable even exist?
Yeah.
They cut the cord on that shit too. So I got to give an award to John Waters, and nobody fucking told me how big this event is, for heaven's sakes. I heard editing the editors awards, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be, if they're asking me, it's like a room full of fucking 15 nerds and shit like that, editing nerds, and this will be quick. Fucking Royce Hall at UCLA. It's like, I don't know, it seats like 1,200 or something like that. Place was fucking packed. It was a big to do, a huge thing, man. Like broadcast quality, and they were shooting it. And it was like, where's this being broadcast? Like nowhere, just for us. Like, man, there were some fucking people there, some famous people, including Papa George Lucas himself.
What?
Right. I was backstage. He was presenting an award, a Lifetime Achievement Award, to Walter Murch, his friend Walter Murch, who we went to film school. So I was backstage and he was backstage. And in 30 years in this business, I still never technically met him. So I was like, maybe today is the day. Because I got there, the ceremony starts at 1:00. And they're like, oh, you go like you're next to last. So fucking thing was like 5 hours. Like
Award shows, man.
ironic that not an editor could be found to make it shorter. Because they were all celebrating and stuff. So I had a lot of time to be like, should I? Shouldn't I? Should I? Shouldn't I? Should I? Shouldn't I? Chickened out. Couldn't do it. Couldn't walk over and be like, I had my opener too. It had nothing to do with like, oh my God, Mr. Lucas, Star Wars, nothing like that. I was gonna be like, hey man, like I saw this video you did on YouTube where you talk about the differences between joy, pleasure, and joy, or pleasure and happiness, or something like that. It was fucking wonderful talk. Like that's what I would have talked about. My deep cuts opener. None of this fucking like, hey man, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, I saw a little motion picture you made. He's heard enough fucking Star Wars talk. I was going to talk about something else that seemed I got a lot out of. And he seemed, at least when he did the speech at the time, like, it meant something to him as well. But I still couldn't do it, man. 30 years I've been in this business. I am a professional, despite what you read on the internet, Mark. For 3 decades, I've been doing things this town. I got my footprints over in the Chinese theater forecourt, for heaven's sakes. And yet still
couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it. And not because I'm like, oh, he's so fucking magnificent, but just because I was like, what if he's just like, I don't give a fuck off. Like, oh, that'd be tough. That'd be, so I don't do it. And it's so weird because people come up to me all the time, and before they even say a thing, I'm like, hey, you want to take a picture and shit? So I don't know, maybe he's that guy. I doubt it. Based on the interactivity I saw backstage, I didn't feel like it was like, hey man, I'm gonna go over and say some shit. But kids, if you're sitting there going like, well, I bet you when you're working the business, everybody's contemporary. No, still in my heart, I don't belong here.
No, but you could have. He would have welcomed you. I hear he's not a throat puncher, so you would have been fine.
I don't know about that, man. He might have been one of those guys who's like, and your nose, that bone part goes right up into your brain.
I
the force be in your fucking nose.
Did you kill me by breaking my bone up into my cranium? Yeah, I did. I met him once at this point now, like 20 years ago, I think.
Face to face and said, hi, my name is Mark.
Like face to face. I was a journalist covering the Phantom Menace DVD launch, and they had a big event up at the ranch. And so I went, and it was, me and 25 other journalists.
Right.
And we were just sitting on the veranda of the main house, just kind of having lunch or drinks or some shit. And I think he came out for his contractually obligated, like, pass through the muck of journalists. And it was me and Cheo Coker, who at that point was a journalist, would then eventually go on to run Luke Cage and write the Notorious B.I.G. movie. But we were like the only black dudes in Marin County. And I think George is married to an African American woman. So he was like, "My people, you're here." He like buzzed right over to us, like, "Hi, I'm George." Like, "Yeah, we know who you are." And we talked to him for whatever, like 2 or 3 minutes. The idlest bullshit chit chat. But did not get to Star Wars changed my life. I'm not sure that I would do the thing that I do now if it not for Star Wars. Didn't do that. Just like, hey man, this house is great. He's like, isn't it though?
You're doing way better than me.
Bamf.
Hey, it's Bamf, man. You ever talk to Lucas?
I met George Lucas once at Skywalker Ranch. I had won an MTV contest to see Revenge of the Sith 3 weeks early at the ranch. And I was standing out in the back patio of the courtyard building talking to one of the EPs of TRL, and George walked by, and I chased him down, and I did say the thing about how inspiring it was to have somebody to look up to that didn't feel they needed to play the Hollywood game and did it on their own. And then I was weeping, and I asked him for a hug, and he gave me a hug. He gave me a hug. Yeah, he gave me a hug, and then he said, he goes,
"The dream that you had."
I have photos. I'll pull up photos at the end of the show. He goes, all right, nice to meet you. I have to go take my son to see Triple X2. And he got in his Mercedes and he peeled away.
Amazing.
I want to meet your George Lucas.
I mean, it was 19 years ago at the time. So I was significantly younger. I was half the age I am now.
If I ever talked to this man, because he walked out, like he went and introed Walter Murch, and then I followed and introed John Waters and stuff. So I was standing at the backstage doorway, and he was coming back down the hallway with his wife, and she looked at me and smiled and like nodded and kind of indicated for him, like, hey, it's that fucking dude who's made a whole career out of it. And I went, hey, and he went, hello. And that.
See, what you had to do is just start crying, and then he would offer a hug to make this poor boy stop crying.
You don't seem like much of a hugger. I think you got some special sauce there, man.
I think he probably just didn't want to see me cry. So he was hugging.
Ever hug George Lucas? Let's put it. Anybody ever see George Lucas hug anybody other than JC here? This is like Sasquatch to me. I don't know if this is like an episode of In Search of a Hug. Lucas.
I'm gonna try to get a photo.
I think this is a very realistic fever dream you had during COVID.
I'm lucid dreaming a lot, so
picture it didn't happen, as the kids used to say.
I'm gonna try. I'll pull up a pic and I'll come right back.
Meantime, how are you, Captain? What you been up to?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I've been, I've already spent 7 hours watching Dune, so I got that on. I got that going for me.
Legit. That honestly, there was a moment where I was like, "Oh, full disclosure, kids, I did not see Dune 2. Saw Dune 1, but that's not really gonna help with tonight's discussion." But there was a moment where I reached out to Deacon. I was like, hey, man, can I come see it and stuff? And he got like a pass from Warner Bros. So I could have gone down to Screen X or 4DX and watched it in a fuck me chair. But then I saw the running time and I was like,
I mean, it's not surprising. It's the same. It's off by a minute from part one.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. Look, it's just, I'll get there, but fucking, I ain't got 2 hours and 45 minutes in a row that are free. Like that's, I gotta break that up over a week or some such shit. So I have not gone to see it, man. But I did something a little more productive, and you can go watch a movie, which believe me, I love doing, or you can finish a screenplay that you started back in October.
And you did the thing.
This morning, I put a bow on the screenplay that I've been working on. First draft, 112 pages. And I felt, I felt great about it. I actually, at one point, I called up Jordan. I was like, hey, man, I just got to like celebrate, like finishing a thing. I don't want this to like roll past because I got 9 other things to do and responsibilities. Like, I finished a fucking another screenplay. That's nuts. I mean, I'm not saying it's good or anything, but like, that's weird. I remember the first time I did that. And, it was way back even before Clerks. It's when I was making a quasi version of Dogma that I had written. But I remember finishing the Clerks screenplay, all 164 pages of it. 164 pages full of dick jokes set in a convenience store. And I was like, I think it'll work. So I don't know. It felt good today to like write the end and fucking write the screen. When you write a screenplay, what's the date you put on the front? The date you finish or the date you start?
The date I finish.
Yeah, that's what I've always done as well. But I looked at the start date, which was like mid-October. So it took me about 5 months. But to be fair, 2 of those months I was taking care of Jennifer when she busted her hip. And then it wasn't a whole month, but one of those months was headed toward the cruise and stuff. And I think if I had like built myself a little free time somewhere in there, I probably could have finished way earlier. Regardless, fuck the regret. There is none. I finished the screenplay and I'm very happy. And it's funny as fuck. Oh my God. So
Congrats, man. I mean, I feel like it's as busy as you are, as busy as we can be when there's 18 plates spinning. It's easy to not celebrate the wins, even the small wins, and finishing a thing is fucking huge.
you are not kidding.
It's
It's true.
massive. But it's so easy to just like, all right, that's done. On to the next thing. It's like, but wait, let me just fucking let me take the night. Just
I
like,
had
what, I
to.
did a thing.
I drove around Mulholland and I just thought about like, as you're driving, there's a fucking killer view of the Hollywood sign. Plus, you're seeing the valley at one point. You're seeing the city side. You got views up there that remind you why you're willing to pay ridiculous amounts in fucking taxes to live in this state. Um, and I was thinking about like, because you put words together, this is where you are, and you did it again. And then, I wasn't like you're the king of the world or anything like that, but I was like, thank you, to God, to the universe, to myself, to my parents, to the teachers that I had, whoever was responsible for all the dominoes falling in the way where I was like, what if I made pretend for a living? It's still delights me and still like makes me excited. And I never take it for granted. I'm never like, ho hum, another screenplay. I'm like, oh my God, this may very well be my, fucking 17th film, like, or whatever number it is. How awesome that I don't know. It used to be I knew like everyone, and now I'm old enough where I'm like, did I make 16 or 17? Does Yoga Hosers count? Regardless, happy to be out living out here and working in the arts. Although every article I read this week is about how nobody's working in this business and there's another strike coming. Is that true?
Well, the IATSE, the union that oversees and administers and protects the crews, not cruise boats, but like, people who lift things and move things and wire things and electrify things and record sound. And I'm pretty sure that the cinematographers are also in the IATSE, but basically it's the people who do the physical labor of making a movie or a TV show. Their contract is up, I believe it's June, I think, June or July. And so they're beginning their process, the same process the writers went through, the same process the actors went through, of having conversations with the studios and saying, we'd like it to be better. And them saying, well, we don't really want it to be. How about this, doggy treat we'll give you if you're a good boys? And we say, well, no, because we actually need health insurance and pensions and things to be able to survive. And so, it's nobody really knows how it's looking now because it's too early for that. But there will come a time when IATSE's representatives will come out and tell us we're taking a strike authorization vote just because we're going into negotiations and we want to have that. We want to have the nuclear option in our pockets. And I would like to think that the studios would realize that they don't actually really have a card to play here. I don't think any of them have an appetite for another strike. I certainly don't. I don't think anybody does. But dumber heads have prevailed with too many things to think that logic will be the will rule the day. So who knows, man? But it's weird. It's definitely a weird time in the business. The studios and the networks are not buying at the same rate that they used to buy. So people trying to sell shows and movies or whatever are having a harder time doing that. Consequently, actors are having a more difficult time getting hired because there's less product. The streamers are beginning to condense and contract, realizing that it doesn't actually benefit them to throw all of this money at stuff that they can't charge people for, other than the monthly tag they get them for. There's probably too many streamers out there, period, that there might be some consolidation going on. It's all chaos, and probably will be for the better part of the next year. But it's weird out there, man.
Keep
Hollywood's
writing,
crazy.
kid. Just keep writing. Keep
Try to make a
creating.
thing.
Yeah.
Try to make a thing. I
Fiddle.
did.
Fiddle as Rome burns. That's what
I
I said.
did the most adorable podcast this week. I was a guest on a podcast because I've been doing like Mace Windu press for the Mace Windu comic book. Which the
Mark
first
wrote a Mace Windu comic for Marvel Star Wars kids.
Indeed, Marvel and Lucasfilm. And the issue 1 is already on stands. Issue 2 comes out, I think, next week, middle of March. And I did this podcast called Father Son Galaxy, and it's a father, dude in his mid-40s, his like 10 or 11-year-old son, and the podcast is just about Star Wars because they both love it just that much.
Oh,
And like doing this podcast was like looking through like a time crystal because they're both African American. And I'm like, you, dad, are the me that I am now, and you, son, are the me that I was when I was 10. And the fact that the both of you were just sitting here sharing this stuff together and bonding over it and enjoying it and feeding off of each other. And this kid was precocious and smart and like drove the interview. It was kind of lovely. I've been doing a decent amount of press and all of it's been fun, but that was actually kind of special. And so thank you to the kids over at Father Son Galaxy. I'm not sure when my episode will drop, but it was a blast.
that is adorable, man. The a kid who knows a lot about Star Wars reminds me of when we were kids. There was I guess it was like 19, maybe 83 or 84. It was when I think it was before, right around when Jedi came out. There was a kid, I think his name was Rusty Miller. Maybe I'm wrong, but he wrote a book called the Jedi Masters Quiz Book that they
Nice.
published. And like his picture is on the back of the book and whatnot. And he did like press. I remember seeing him on like Good Morning America or some such shit. But he was just a kid that like wrote a Star Wars quiz book with some really hard questions. It was like 100 different questions and stuff. And I remember being a kid and being like, oh my God, why didn't I fucking think of doing that? Like I could have been the Jedi Masters Quiz Book. But like if I could choose, if I could swap lives with Rusty Miller, now versus then, I think I'm all right. I think shit worked out.
Bamf.
But there was a time when I was envious of Rusty. Are you familiar with that book, JC?
I am. I have it. I was just going to say, I bet Rusty Miller probably would have approached George Lucas backstage, though.
Rusty Miller had the nuts. He'd be like, I fuck Fox. I'm writing a book of questions. I'm 10. Fuck them all. What are they going to do? Sorry,
I appreciate that. I appreciate the idea of like, fuck them. I'm going to do the thing that I probably shouldn't do.
Let me tell you something. This Rusty Miller, he's a fucking goddamn hero, an icon, if you will, because he didn't wait for somebody to say go. I mean, I'm sure he had parental help. If I remember the story correctly, his parents helped him.
And you drive and make copies.
I'm sure, and knew somebody at Del Rey Publishing. Regardless, he didn't wait for fucking George Lucas to say, yeah, go ahead, write a book. He did it. In many ways, this kid, I might have stole from him to make Clerks, because I was like, if I know anything from Rusty Miller's fucking adventure, you could say whatever the fuck you want about Star Wars and they'll never sue you. And so I put it in a movie. So maybe I should be like, if I ever get an Academy Award, which will only be if I drop dead, they'll give me one of those, like, he died, give him an Oscar. But if I could retroactively give a speech, I might have to shout out Rusty Miller and be like, to the little boy who wrote the Jedi Masters Quiz Book. Maybe as an old man, I shouldn't be referencing little boys in my speech, but I'll say,
I love this little boy.
to Rusty, there was a little boy who was responsible for my good fortune. To Rusty Miller, author of the Jedi Masters Quiz Book. Man, author of the Jedi Masters Quiz Book. Without him, I wouldn't have fucking made my journey. He probably plays a part. I'm telling you, when I was a kid, I was like, why aren't I Rusty Miller? It took me a lifetime, but now I'm Rusty Miller. I am the Rusty Miller of today, Mark.
I used to watch Steve Sansweet on QVC and say the same thing. Like, why can't I be that guy?
Right? Shit, I want to be Steve Sansweet because look at all the shit he's got.
Well, and then I opened Scum and Villainy Cantina, and I was like, I'm good.
Isn't that funny? How like you get your own, and then you're like, oh, fucking, I got a thing. Like I love this thing, and now I got my version of the thing, and and that's good enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean,
like, you probably don't buy that many toys anymore, do you? You got one big fucking playset that you get to walk around in.
Yeah, I don't buy anything anymore. I haven't collected in a long time.
I feel like you two are like the poster boys for beg forgiveness, don't ask permission.
Me and Rusty Miller.
Well, you and fucking JC. I'm gonna open this bar. I'm not gonna ask anybody to open this bar.
That's true, but let's be honest. JC's bar is impressive, but he's basically running his train on the track that Rusty Miller laid.
That's true.
We're all standing on those giant shoulders.
You got to have him on the show. That'd be amazing because he's no longer a boy, Mark. He's probably in his fucking 50s.
He's Tim Miller's father. My boy Tim Miller. My dad is Rusty.
What's amazing is that you remember his name like 40 years later.
It's fucking
That's
celebrity.
how big of an impact.
Anybody who was famous before I started, trying to be an entertainer is super famous. And in my memory, and that includes like high school names and shit. Some people are so big they get fucking two names, like fucking Kim Lochran. But like, even people that I wasn't like contemporaries with in high school, older kids, tougher kids and shit, those names still like loom large to me. Where I'm like, oh shit, that person's famous. And same with Rusty Miller. Rusty Miller, like, he did it at a time. Like, think about how easy it is to get famous now, right? You got fucking one good TikTok and you can introduce yourself to the fucking world, to 100 million people and shit. Rusty Miller fucking did it when it was hard, when there were only 3 channels, ABC, CBS, and NBC. He was pre-internet famous. That's pretty fucking famous.
He also had to do it on a typewriter, probably. So if he made a mistake, if he typed Jabba the Hutt with 1 T or 2 T's or whatever it shouldn't be, he had to wipe that out and go back and line it up.
Again, for the record, he had parental help. I ain't trying to take the bloom off his rose, but let's let's not take away from however much help his parents brought to him. Now, on Clerks, contrary to that, my parents only helped a little bit. They gave me a lot of money, and my mom showed up to be in the movie at 3 a.m. Other than that, I did it all by myself. Kids, we're lucky. Believe it or not, fucking somebody will sponsor this show, man. And our sponsor tonight, is a good one, man. We're gonna talk about the good folks at Tushy. Tushy, ladies and gentlemen, stop wiping until you bleed. Ouch! Join the 3 million butts who have already made the switch to Tushy. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off your entire order when you use the code FATMAN at checkout. That's 10% off your order at hellotushy.com. HELLOTUSHY.com with the promo code FATMAN. You know what Tushy is, man. The Hello Tushy bidet. This cleans your asshole. I don't even have to sell this. Do you ever want something to clean your asshole or somebody? Here it is. You know how like fucking fancy people in France got the bidet? Well, you could be just as fancy pants in your own turlet with the Tushy, man. You hook it right up, hooks up like crazy. Toilet paper is the thing of the past, man. Putting toilet paper on your hands, then wiping, and then it breaks through, and you're like, God damn it. And that smell sticks around for hours. I don't care how long you scrub. Now, Tushy, you just sit there, little jet comes out, literally washes the shit off of you. I don't know how else to say it. Pleasurable as fuck. This ain't in the copy, but you got a bunch of water spraying up your butt. You're having a good time, kids.
That's a Thursday night.
Take over, Mark.
The next time
about that thread, Mark.
The next time you sit down on the toilet to squeeze out a baseball bat, Hello Tushy wants you to remember one thing. The time you're spending scrolling on your phone isn't giving you peace of mind. It's giving you a hemorrhoid. Men spend twice as long in the bathroom, and one of the leading causes of hemorrhoids is prolonged sitting on the toilet.
Right.
Wiping with toilet paper will only irritate your butthole more. The Tushy bidet cleans your butt with a targeted stream of fresh water, eliminating the need for painful wiping.
This is your expression when Tushy's going on. And you could add this or this, depending on what you do.
Nice. The Hello Tushy bidet uses fresh water, same as your shower or sink, never from the bowl, to clean you a precise clean. Simple to use even for first-time users. Sit back, drop your deuce, spray to clean, and pat dry.
Cuts
And
down your TP use by 80%, kids. You know, saving money and your plumbing, plus a tree or two. No more clogging up turlets. Is the chemical-free way to clean your ass / butt, man. Even if you use wet wipes, which I do, you're still smearing poop around. Think about it. And introducing nasty chemicals to your butt, man. This is just a clean-ass jet of water that goes back and forth and shit. Prevents poo particles, which is one of my favorite bands, from spreading to your hands and everything you touch. You don't want poo particles on your hands. And if you do, don't hang out with me, for heaven's sakes. Make the restroom your best room with the complete Tushy system, including the Tushy bidet attachment, the ottoman, the turlet brush, and Tushy stand and tissues, man. Oh, God. Tushy.
hold on. There's an ottoman? Like, I'm putting my feet up? Wow. I didn't realize that I was living a lap of luxury. It's like I'm in different strokes, but for my
That's
ass.
a poo stool. That's right. The world don't move to the beat of just one bowel, my friend. It cleans your bum or your asshole 2 times better and gentler than wiping with toilet paper alone. For the rest of your life, 2 times. You can leave the bathroom sooner feeling confident your ass is actually clean without tearing yourself a new asshole. Tushy bidet easily attaches to your existing toilet in under 10 minutes without additional plumbing or electricity needed. Go figure, man. Every Hello Tushy bidet comes with a 30-day hassle-free return and a 12-month warranty. What are you waiting for, man? Try it. Stop wiping until you bleed. Join the 3 million butts who've already made the switch to Tushy. For a limited time, our listeners will get 10% off your entire order when you use the code FATMAN at checkout. That's 10% off your order at hellotushy.com. HELLOTUSHY.com with the promo code FATMAN. We thank the good folks at Tushy for being a sponsor of tonight's episode of Fat Man Beyond. Somebody go buy a Tushy, man. These kids are cool. They helped our show. And you know, you can try it and get your money back if you don't like it, but you'll like it. Oh, it feels good. I mean,
Feels good.
this is Tushy, kids.
Yeah.
You're into the official ad for
Feels good.
Now I'll throw in my 2 cents. Tushy,
Yeah.
jerk off in a whole new way. They didn't ask you to say that. That's just me throwing it out. That's not part of the ad. That's my own personal thing.
just one up your masturbation.
Okay. The president is done talking. So now we can start talking about the things that matter to the nation as well. Things like Dune and whatnot. Are we beginning with our Dune review? I saw somebody in chat was like, fucking, hey man, I'm really disappointed you didn't see Dune. Well, I apologize, but I'm really not disappointed that I finished my script. So I like Denis Villeneuve as much as the next guy, but like, I got to take care of me and mine. Denis Villeneuve ain't paying my fucking bills. Nice guy. I met him, interviewed him, hell of a guy. But he ain't.
You talk to him, but you don't talk to George Lucas.
Yeah, go figure. Isn't that weird? And and arguably, I'm fucking like intimidated by the talent of Denis Villeneuve, but he's a very nice guy and he loves me a lot. Okay.
So yes, I saw Dune 2.
You saw Dune two times. Two
times. And Dune in it.
We call Mark Dooney 2 times all the time because he's always doing Dune. We play Dune. What's the name? We play Dune.
I'm riding a worm.
The sleeper has awoken. We are playing Dune at Smodcastle Cinemas as we speak.
Nice.
And I was there last weekend, but I did not have an opportunity to watch it. I was at one point going to watch it at 2 a.m. 2 hour and 45 minute, 2 a.m. Probably not a good idea.
Ill-advised
to say the least. But before we dive into Mark's Dune review, speaking of Smodcastle Cinemas, JC, we got a bunch of stuff coming up. Actually, before we get to Smodcastle Cinemas, this weekend, kids, Saturday night, me and Ralph, Hollywood Babylon at Flappers Comedy Club right there in Burbank. Come on out. Have a good time. See us make some funny. You saw us if you were on Cruise Askew with me and Mark. You saw me and Ralph there. Now come see us in our natural habitat, Flappers Comedy Club. Next, JC. Oh, kids, I'll be back in New Jersey on the 16th. Can't be there on the 15th when we were supposed to do the Ides of Mark, because on the 15th, I'm shooting something, which I can't tell you what it is yet, but it is a cool thing. Both me and
a cool thing.
March 16th, though, I will be there because I'm getting on a morning flight for this comedy night at Smodcastle Film Festival. Me and Chris Cover and a couple other guys, and it's a benefit for my old alma mater, Henry Hudson Regional and stuff. So come to a very intimate comedy setting that has no liquor whatsoever. See comedy sober. Find out how terribly unfunny I am. All while, kids are making money for the nearby high school and whatnot. So tickets for that at smodcastlecinemas.com. Tickets for me and Ralph Garman doing Babylon, that would be at csmod.com or flapperscomedy.com. Next. Oh, yeah. While I'm in New Jersey, guess what it is, Mark? 20th anniversary of Jersey Girl. March 19th is the 20th anniversary of the day the movie came out. So on March 17th, back in New Jersey at Smodcastle Cinemas, we're going to show the uncut Jersey Girl, the long cut of the movie, man. Way more J-Lo than you could shake a stick at.
How much longer is it?
Fucking long.
Is it 2 hours and 46 minutes long?
No, I would never to a friend or a fan. No, but it is long. It's like 2 hours, maybe 15 or something like that. I don't know. I think it's listed on the Smodcastle website. But tickets for that at smodcastlecinemas.com. That's on Sunday, man. Sunday in the afternoon. I know it's St. Patrick's Day, but 3:00 show. It's a matinee. You can still get drunk at night. Next.
They're already drunk in the morning. It's fine.
Yeah. Also, get drunk and watch this. You'll cry your eyes out. You want to laugh your ass off instead of cry your eyes off? Cry your eyes out. Why don't you come see Jay and Silent Bob Get Old in one of New Jersey's most iconic venues, the Stone Pony?
The Stone Pony?
We're playing the Stone Pony. After all this time, me and Jay are doing a gig 10 minutes down the road from where we grew up. It took us a long time. Come all the way back. To be great is to go on. Go on is to go far. To go far is to return. And when you return, you go to the Stone Pony. So this is a place where if you're like Stone Pony, who gives a shit? That's where Bruce Springsteen broke, kids. That's the Bruce Springsteen venue. Made him famous and whatnot. Iconic venue in Central Jersey. So that is, when is that? April 27th, 6th? 27th. April 27th, right there in New Jersey. Tickets at csmod.com. The very next night, we're going to Long Island, kids. That's right. Jay and Silent Bob playing the Paramount. Tickets at csmod.com. What's after that, JC? Look at all these fucking shows. And I think that's it. Is that it? No? Oh, Ernie asked me to remind folks, this weekend at Smodcastle Cinemas is the Smodcastle Film Festival Challenge, 37-hour Smodcastle Film Challenge. You can join at filmfreeway.com. You make a short film, submit it, and we play the winners at the theater and stuff. It's a good time. And he told me, he's like, I need you to come up with a character, a phrase from the movie, and something else that they can include in their shorts. So they're doing that this weekend. The Vulgarthon show continues to sell. We are now on our 4th of 5 theaters at Smodcastle Cinemas. We've sold out of 3 theaters, and we're a quarter of the way sold on the 4th. So there's a good chance, since we have 5 months before Vulgarthon, which is on August 3rd, there's a good chance we're going to sell every one of those theaters out.
I also saw another thing that you're doing that I found very intriguing.
Tell me.
Netflix is a joke.
Yeah, what night is that?
I believe it's Mother's Day.
Am I? Is it on Mother's Day? Here, I'm looking up on my csmod.com.
Mother's Day? I think it's Mother's Day.
Yes, it is. Netflix is a joke is on May 12th. That is a Sunday, so you may be right. The show is called Kevin Smith Cuck Life. But it's all about the phrasing. It's not cuck life, it's cuck life. Like, look at life. The Comedy Store main room. That's May 12th. Part is the Netflix is a Joke Festival. And then, of course, don't forget, kids, in October, Chronicon in real life coming to Chicago, man, to the Rosemont, where we used to do the Wizard World Con all the time. Tickets now available, chroniconforreal.com. Okay, I'm done selling shit.
You're done selling shit. Okay.
Now let's sell Dune. You sell me Dune.
I'll sell you Dune. My experience with Denis Dune films is always the first time I see it, I'm like, that's all very impressive, but it's running up against the images I have in my head from the David Lynch version, which I still love, like to death. Like, despite all of its wonkiness, despite all of its weirdness, and it's profoundly fucking weird.
You want to honestly like you want to talk about auteur cinema. You're talking about a book that was known worldwide, and an author, a filmmaker, somehow found a way to make that uniquely his own. You know, very like Kubrick takes The Shining and turns it into his own thing. Lynch took Herbert's book and turned it into his own thing. And I've never read the book, but as Mark has and has enjoyed it and told me how much he loves it, sounds like the book is a fulfilling experience and Lynch's movie are a fulfilling experience, and the two don't necessarily mirror each other.
Not entirely. Like, Lynch takes some liberties, to be certain. And he condenses a lot, leaves out a lot, because he's making a 2.5 hour movie out of a, whatever it was, 700-page book. You're going to do some excision work. Denis is way more comprehensive in his adaptation. I mean, he's given it almost 6 hours to tell that story. He also makes some changes. I mean, there's some pretty radical changes that he makes to the text for part two. And if you're a book lover and you've read the books and you've seen the movie, then you kind of understand what some of those things are. The biggest one is that Chani, who really gets meat in this, this is the sandy romance that we were all.
That sounded way fucking sexy.
Oh, it gets sexy.
What kind of meat is she getting?
The worms
like
are not
Sam
the only.
the Butcher bringing Alice the meat, like Fred Flintstone driving around with bald feet. Should I have another sip? Nah, skip it. I'm gonna ride and bust with the whippet. Sorry.
The sandworms are not the only ones that going deep in the sand. Shai Hulud are not the only ones digging tunnels.
So I remember in the David Lynch one, it was suggested they kissed and they had like very impressionable like fades between them, and not fade, Ralph, but film fade.
Beautiful fade.
Here it's more hardcore. It's like just here like.
is that a worm? Yeah, it is.
Zimmer's just like, I'm not scoring this part. I think it sounds raw just hearing skin on skin. Denny's like, I'm with you. This is the part of the movie that gets people hard. Fuck it. No score.
I am French Canadian and we are very romantic people. Go ahead.
That's true.
I mean, it's not explicit at all, but they definitely do consummate their relationship. But Chani has way more agency in this one. She is not the kind of sycophant to Paul as she is in both the book and in Lynch's movie.
She's not all like, tell me about your home world, Usul.
No, she kind of like, I don't believe you. I don't believe you when you tell me there's water everywhere and you go swimming. Bullshit.
And so as someone who read the book and of course liked Lynch's movie, how do you feel about the change?
I think it's smart. I think it's really smart, because it's all trying to arm Paul with reticence. This is a movie about a good kid embracing the lie that his mother's order, the Bene Gesserits, have been telling for generations, that the voice from the outer world will come and lead these people to the promised land. They've been telling this story all throughout the known galaxy. Like almost as a fucking break glass in case of emergency if you're a royal, like lost on some fucking backwoods planet and you need help from the native population. You just show up, you tell them that you're the Lisan al-Gaib, the voice from the outer world, that you're the prophesied Messiah that's come to lead them to their future, and you get taken care of. Paul hates this idea. Paul kind of refutes it at every turn. And arming him with conflict, adding conflict to the story, adding, you know, Denis and John Spaeth, the screenwriter, invented a political religious divide among the Fremen. The Northern Fremen are just warriors, and the Southern Fremen are idealists. You
And
know,
that's
they
not in the book.
no, it's like the fundamentalists versus almost the secularists, and that's not in the book either. The Fremen are just one unified mass in the book, and so you know, it's this is a story about Paul yielding to prophecy, about Paul embracing the fact that he is more than what he ever thought he could be. Um, there is a sequence in this movie that is almost my favorite hero becoming who he's supposed to be moment. It's not quite as good as What's Up Danger, which, you know, still is the top of my list of the here's a guy who had been, you know, kind of trying to be the person he thought he could be and then cracks it and embraces it and discovers who he's meant to be. And it's Paul riding the worm for the first time. It's Paul getting up on Shai Hulud, and it's beautiful. I mean, it is as visceral and as majestic, and the Hans Zimmer music kicks in when you want it to, and it's like I got chills in the theater just like watching those like 7 or 8 minutes of that. Because it's just majestic, and fucking Denis knows where to put the camera. Every frame is gorgeous. Everything is beautiful. Um, they do this bit when they go to Gidi Prime, the Harkonnens' homeworld, and you introduce the Fade for the first time in the gladiatorial arena.
That's Yoga Hoser's Austin Butler, I believe.
Indeed, Yoga Hoser's his own Austin Butler.
How on his Apple page, like, because he's in Masters of the Air,
Hmm.
like, you know, they're like, here's the other stuff he's been in. And I was like, oh, and I went and clicked on everything but fucking Yoga Hosers. And then I was like, well, maybe it's not available on iTunes. There it is. So
There it is.
regardless, they can't change the past. He was in Yoga Hosers.
It's on his IMDb, no matter what he does.
How is his fade versus Stings? Is he like, I will kill him?
Well, his Fade is more of a sociopath. His Fade is, you know, he's Austin Butler, so he's pretty, but he's got the best bald cap I've ever seen. Like they didn't shave his head or his eyebrows. That's all like bald cap and makeup shit.
All right.
Because he was going to shoot that motorcycle movie, The Bike Riders, with Tom Hardy right afterwards. And like, you cannot shave this dude's head. He won't have enough time to grow his hair back. So they put an application on him. But he's playing like this Fade is a monster. This Fade is a sadist. This Fade just likes to commit violence for violence' sake. This Fade is a broken monster.
Is that
Whereas
does that echo the fade in the book?
the Fade in the book is a bit half steppy between Sting and this. I don't remember him being quite so depraved in the book. Um, you know, and sadly, Stellan Skarsgård, who is awesome, never says, "My beautiful Fade, I will send them you, Fade."
Right.
And he's good. He's very good. But like they shoot it in this weird, like infrared black and white because the black sun of Gidi Prime polarizes the image, and it feels like you're shooting it through milk. It is so fucking rich and gorgeous and off-putting and odd. It feels wrong in almost every way. Um, Greg Fraser, the cinematographer, is a fucking world beater. He's phenomenal. Um, I dug the movie the first time I saw it. I very much liked the movie the second time I saw it because I was able to get out of my own way. I was able to put aside the Lynch and see this for what it is. And I mean, fucking that Timmy Chalamet, he's very good at this.
Yeah.
And this is a tall order, you know, to suddenly be a leader of men when you're 113 pounds soaking wet. You know, when we just saw you as the boy and you got to step into the man and you're not adding muscle mass, you're just it's like it's a little bit of the fucking Christopher Reeve special effect in Superman, where he just stands taller and suddenly he goes from Clark Kent to Superman by just straightening his spine. You know, it's a little bit of that. It's a little bit of posture. It's a little bit of just the stiffness, a little bit of like settling into who he is. Um, there are no bad actors in this movie. Everybody's great. Zendaya is great. Fucking Javier Bardem is a kind of ray of light in what could be a dour experience because these are serious movies. There's no jokes in
Does
these
the
movies.
Benny Gesserit witch come back?
She does. Charlotte Rampling makes
She's
a
amazing. I mean, Charlotte Rampling is an amazing actress.
she's
Sounds like a great
great.
choice.
She's great. She's great. Leia Sadu, who plays Margot Fenring, who's from another of the great houses of the Landsrad. Um,
What about what's her name?
Florence
Florence.
Pugh,
Yeah, she plays the.
Princess Irulan.
Yeah, does she have more of a part other than narrator?
She does. She does. I mean, it's not about her, so she's, none of the drama is hinging on what she does or what she doesn't do. But she's in, 5 or 6 scenes, and she's great in each one of them, because almost every woman in this movie that's not a Fremen is a Bene Gesserit in some fashion or another. And so watching that level of politic play out is super fun.
Does it negate all the best lines from David Lynch's Dune that it's not like we do whatever we want, but like it doesn't make you go like, well, I can't go like take your hand out of the box, young human.
There is not as much as you'd hope, I think, of the sort of those Lynch hallmarks. There are a couple, and they're noticeable, like when Fade goes, "Who is she, a pet, perhaps? Will she deserve my special attention?" Like that's there. And it's like, oh, he kept
Did they
it
do in the first movie? Did Harkonnen go, I want to spit in your face, just a little spittle? That was so fucking like disturbing in that fucking Lynch film. Like more
Yeah.
disturbing than almost the cats sewn to the rats and vice versa.
Yeah.
Man, like just wanting to spit in her fucking face.
No, it is not. It is not a perverse film in that way.
Mm.
Whereas Lynch was 100% down for the perversion of it. Like, I want to look at Sting in a fucking metal Speedo. I want to like pull these heart plugs off of people and watch them bleed and then dance in their blood. I want to watch, yeah, fucking cats and rats. You have to milk this rat to get the antidote for the poison. There aren't enough mentats in this one. They cut the mentat that was in the Thufir. Had been in the book. He gets captured by the Harkonnens and he's living in Harkonnen prison until Paul sort of frees him towards the end. He's not in the film. Tim Blake Nelson apparently shot a role that didn't make the cut, that got cut out of it.
Walken is the emperor of the known universe.
He is the Padishah Emperor Shaddam the Fourth.
Wow.
And
is he in the first one?
No, they mention him, but you don't see him. The other big change they make is that in the book and in Lynch's movie, Paul's sister, Alia Atreides, she's born. Like she's an infant. She's 4 years old, I think, by the time Paul ascends the Golden Lion throne, and she's the one who kills Baron Harkonnen. I'm spoiling the fuck out of this. It's a
didn't she do that in
Lynch's version? She does.
She's like it's little what's her name? She was on fucking The Walking Dead and
yeah. Oh man, I'm spacing on her
Alicia
name.
Witt.
Alicia Witt. That's right. Yes. Yeah. She.
Aaron, I have a secret.
Come closer, baby.
She's the one that pulls his like plug and he goes flying and shit.
Yeah, and she does the like. Yeah.
Does she that in this at age 4?
In the Lynch version, she's like supposed to be 4 or 5 years old, which I think is how old Alicia Witt was when she shot that. In Denis' version, Ali is never born. Ali is still in utero. The time frame is condensed. It's not, at the end of Dune 1, Jessica's pregnant. And then, the span of time between Dune 1 and Dune 2 is like 7 months. But after, like, Jessica still takes the water of life, and the infant, the in utero sister suddenly gets flooded by, just as it does in the book and in the Lynch movie, gets flooded with all the memories of all the other Reverend Mothers, and she's weirdly preternaturally smart. She comes out of the womb speaking, like all that shit that's weird. In this movie, Jessica's just talking to the baby that's still inside of her, who is sentient now and is communicating telepathically with mom. And it's weird and it's kind of fucked up, but it's cool.
So then who kills Harkonnen?
Paul.
Now that's a big change.
That's a big change.
And thoughts as a fan of both?
I mean, it works, because the impetus was always revenge. It's always, you have to answer for my father. And it actually works a bit better if it's Paul, because Paul knew his father. Alia never did. It's a bit academic when Alia kills him, where here it's very personal. It's very sort of visceral. But yeah, I can't argue with any of the changes that Denny made to it. I mean, I think because the spirit of it holds. It's in line with the changes that Peter Jackson made to Lord of the Rings, which is they're all in keeping with the intention of the work and helping to make it more emotional for a cinematic experience where you can't quite do that. Um, but no, I mean it is a masterpiece. This is the one that will win the Oscars that the first one didn't win. Um, there's a third one coming down the pike because this movie's doing very well at the theater for a 2 hour and 45-minute film. It
Well, they
made
had like fucking 98 Dune books, right? There's like the Dune, the TikTok of Dune, the fucking fucking the
yeah,
Dune identity.
like Frank Herbert, I think, wrote 6 books and then passed away, and then his son picked up the mantle and then wrote like another 78 books. So there's plenty of library, but even if you were just doing the 6 that Frank Herbert wrote, which they won't, because at some point, spoilers, Paul Atreides dies because these books are long in the telling the story of what happens after the fall of this emperor, and Paul takes over and Alia takes over and then Paul's son takes over, and it's a whole fucking thing. But he's at work on Dune Messiah now. He's writing the script, which it seems as if because it made $82 million its opening weekend.
That's a couple bucks. People still want to see some sci-fi, don't they?
And they still want some
This is,
sci-fi. They
I
still
mean,
want.
inarguably a pretty challenging sci-fi, wouldn't you say?
Oh, it's dense. Like this is not like this
This ain't
is.
65 or whatever it is with Adam Driver.
There are
Fucking
dinosaurs on Earth. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is. It's deep. It's dense. There's a lot of political stuff. There's a lot of religious stuff. There's a lot of, and your protagonist is not a hero. Paul is ultimately like it's easy to look at the book as a white savior story if you don't really read the book closely. David Lynch's version does actually present as a white savior story. Here's the rich white kid who shows up on the indigenous planet and leads them to glory. Um, this is very much Paul is not in the right with what he's doing. Paul knows this. Paul has succumbed to being the necessary evil to help the Fremen, but he's about to lead a holy war across the galaxy. He knows he's going to kill millions of people, and he does it anyway. That is not quite a hero. Um, but still, it's an extraordinary piece of work. I can't. If you're at all curious, you should go. If you're not at all curious, wait till it comes on HBO Max and then watch them both. Like, pour yourself a giant fucking glass of wine, smoke yourself a big ass fucking bowl, and strap in for 5 hours of like very, very well wrought, incredibly well considered science fiction.
I'm ready for Dune 3, Dune Buggy, Dune 4, How You Dune?
Dune 5, Atreides nuts.
Atreides nuts. Dune 6, Lorna Dune as the spinoff about his unborn sister. I'm ready for all the Dunes. I just have to see Dune 2 first.
Yes,
which I'll do when I have a spare 9 hours.
indeed.
I'll probably go see it in the theater. I have to go back, as we talked about earlier, to Smodcastle March 16th for the comedy show and the 17th for Jersey Girl. So I should have my own command performance downstairs in Theater One with one of the finest laser projection systems in all of New Jersey, let alone Central Jersey. So I should watch it there.
You should.
By myself. Just like Robert De Niro. Big cigar. Trying to irritate people that aren't. I've seen a lot of people who are like, hey man, it's been out for a week. You should have went to see it. Because that's my job. No. You don't force yourself to see shit. Then you start to resent shit. I'll go when I have a chance. I was creating. I was making. I wasn't in watching mode. I was in making mode. And sometimes when you're in making mode and you go fucking watch a thing, you get intimidated. You're like, why am I doing anything? Denny Villeneuve is so good at this. I shouldn't do shit. So I made my choice and I'm happy with it. You know why? Because Dune 2 ain't going anywhere.
No.
I'm going to be able to see it in the theater for a while. And I know a guy with a movie theater. So I can watch it whenever he lets me.
Yeah.
Name is Ernie O'Donnell. Well, that's awesome. There it is, kids. Mark saw Dune, so you didn't have to. No, everyone wants to see it. I see nothing but good praise for it. Banff man, you're a Dune
Banff.
Neo, right? You don't fuck with Dune that much.
I knew zero about Dune, zero about the books, zero about David Lynch's Dune. I have not known anything. Monday night, I decided, let's try this. I'm not gonna do work. I'm gonna just watch this movie. And I fell absolutely in love with it. I liked it so much that the next day, when I was sitting at Scum and Villainy all day receiving our orders, I watched it again on my iPad, like 12 hours later.
Wait, which one?
Dune 1.
The Dune 1. The first one.
And then did you? So you saw Dune 1 and Dune 2.
And then I went and I saw Dune 2 last night because I loved. A lot of times, like when we talk about stuff on the show that I haven't seen and it's spoiled, I don't care. But I loved Dune 1 so much. I was like, I cannot be spoiled. I can't do it. And so I hosted trivia last night and then caught an 11 p.m. show of Dune that put me home. It put me home at 3:45 in the morning. But I'm so happy I did. It really felt like a sci-fi version of like Lord of the Rings, where I just was like, I just want to kind of like hang out in this world for a little bit and see what's going to happen. The world building was so good. It was crazy. And knowing nothing about it, I was like on Arrakis, just like I wasn't even sitting in my office anymore watching TV. I was just there. It was amazing. So if you're like me and you don't know anything, highly recommend it.
Did you see all the Star Wars influence? Not how it influenced Lucas and Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can see where he was like, "What if we Disneyfied this?" You know.
Yeah, but the giant worms, like the sand planet, they would eventually introduce a spice on Tatooine that people move. It's like, oh, I mean, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Do you think he was just like, nobody's ever read these books?
Yeah, it's fine.
He's probably like,
nobody's ever read these books.
Nobody's going to see this movie anyway, so if I can sell a few sandworm toys, whatever. Oops.
Denis Villeneuve continues to be one of the best of us.
Indeed.
Of show, just making spectacle and whatnot.
That's so good.
Putting the wow back in sci-fi. I don't know if that makes sense whatsoever, but you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, like him and like Nolan are kind of existing and working on this level that is uncompromising, but also totally immersive and can get the resources to do the things he wants to do. And like, there is no part of any frame that you watch in that movie that's accidental. Everything has a purpose. Everything has been fucking like examined and thought about and designed and redesigned. And not to say that it's not inspired, just to say that everything is wrought finely by expert craftsmen to tell a story. Even in the margins, everything kind of holds.
Did you ever watch the TV show? Ryan and Chat said all this talk about Lynch and Denis versions. What about the Sci-Fi Channel version? Horrible sets, costumes, but a lot more true to the book. Did you ever watch those?
I watched the first one, which I think had McAvoy in as Paul,
yeah,
as Paul Atreides, and like Bill Hurt played his father, I think. I think it's the maximalist version of it. They're not bad, I don't think. And yeah, because it was a miniseries, I could tell more of that story. I'd have to go back and revisit it because it felt very Sci-Fi Channel. And then it just couldn't be weird. It couldn't be fucked up. It couldn't have, I just want to spit in his face one more time.
Nobody could have that.
No.
Except David Lynch. David Lynch is I gave up Star Wars for this. He's going to spit. He's like, because I was going to have that happen in a scene. I was going to do that with the Ewoks. One of the Ewok Wicket was going to say, I just want to spit in your face. Just a little spittle. the weather is a mild 62 degrees, California hills. Kids, Dune is playing everywhere. Everybody's doing it.
Everybody's doing it.
You can be doing it too.
And it's going to play for a while. I think Kung Fu Panda 4 opens this Friday. I think it's even this Friday, which will probably be number one at the box office. I think the week after that, you get Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire. But I think Dune
that's coming up in 2 weeks, right?
Coming up in 2 weeks. And so I think
what's with releasing that movie in March? What's that all about?
Maybe it's still cold places. I don't know.
It just seems like a summer movie, but I'm here for it.
Yeah. So, but Dune won't go anywhere. It's going to dominate all the IMAX screens. And so yeah, just fucking go. When you get a chance, go see it.
All right, kids. There's enough fucking Dune talk. Enough about Dune.
Bamf.
Enough about Dune.
Oh, Bamfan's back. We're going to talk about.
I saw a thing. I sat down. I watched a thing also that is fantastic. Not probably Dune level. Bad Batch Season 3, Star Wars Bad Batch Season 3 is fantastic. Yeah. Really good. It is, I think, by far the best stuff Lucasfilm Animation's ever done. It is, every shot looks like a painting. And the story, everything they've set up the first 2 seasons, even going back into Clone Wars, is paying off big time. And a lot of nods to where kind of Ahsoka was like, hey, remember those Heir to the Empire books from back in the day with Timothy Zahn? Let's tell some of that story. There is a lot in Bad Batch Season 3 that will tie into what we see in Ahsoka and Mandalorian and even beyond into the sequel movies. So it's pretty cool. It's definitely Dave Filoni's team, because I don't think he's super involved in it. Retconning things that came out that people didn't love in a way to make them love them more. So highly recommend Bad Batch if anybody's sleeping on that.
Good. There's a tip for you, kids. You know what I recommend? The official Smodcastle fucking cup, which is this one's not signed, but I sign them all. I handle every cup.
Kevin,
yeah,
can I fuck that cup?
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
This is the new Dune fucking. Look at that. That's Marc Bernardin size right there. This is the new Dune popcorn bucket, kids. Soon available at smodcastlecinnemas.com. You get that small popcorn, you got a party.
Because at this point, nobody should be making cups or buckets that you can't fuck.
That's true, man.
We're in a whole new world.
Yeah, it's got to have a secondary use. You got to be able to upcycle it right to your cock. Otherwise, why fuck it? Did you see the popcorn buckets they're making for Ghostbusters? They're fucking, the trap, the ghost trap.
Oh, really?
And that's where the popcorn is. And then there's one tin that's like the Ghostbusters firehouse building. This is everyone's making custom popcorn buckets, man. Like, this is how they think they're going to get everyone to come back to the theater. And it seems to be working. People are into it.
If I can't dip my balls in it, then I'm not going to buy it.
Right? That's fucking put that on a fucking shirt. I'm like, let motherfuckers know, but if I can't put my balls in it, fuck your shirt. Do we have news? Is there any news?
We do have some news indeed, my friend.
Let's hear some news. Mark used to be a newsman. Now he's a fucking make pretend man. He used to do the real stories. Now he makes up stories. But once a newsman, always a newsman. It's in his blood. So Mark's got the news. Go, Mark. Give us the news.
Here's some news. Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender live action adaptation of the Nickelodeon series. It went for 3 seasons.
Like number 1 for fucking weeks, right?
Number 1 for the entire since its debut, I think, which was like a week and a half. I think it debuted just before we went on the cruise, but it's been in the top 10, high on the top 10 since then. Has just been renewed for 2 seasons to complete the story of Aang, the Last Airbender.
So are they covering everything that the animated series covered?
I think in the broad strokes. The animated series had 20 some odd episodes a season. Because it was kids animation and they make a lot of those. The live action series are hour longs, but there's only 8 in a season, so there will be 24 total. They will have to cut some stuff, they'll have to skip some stuff, but it seems as if they do want to tell the entirety of that story and bring it to its natural conclusion. Um, I've watched it. It's incredibly well done. Um, it's a weird thing though, in that I don't think I'm the target audience for it, even though I love the cartoon. And I think it's because I know it so well. You know, like it's I a thing that you know so well and you're seeing an adaptation of it, especially an adaptation from moving medium to moving medium. Um, it's just it's difficult to surprise me with what happens because I know what's going to happen.
Right.
There's differences, of course, but it is just me now watching to see how they do the thing that I know they're going to do. Um, which is interesting and sometimes enjoyable, but it's not entirely fulfilling for me. One Piece was different in that I know there were like 700 episodes of One Piece, but I haven't seen any of it. So watching it for the first time, it just hit me brand new. It's like, oh, this is wonderful. These cast is amazing. These stories are weird, and they're all kind of these little moral fables, and I dig it. Um, I did not like Cowboy Bebop because it was a little too beholden to the source material in a way that it just didn't let it breathe. And so I think that Avatar is among the better versions of this, but I just don't know if this is yeah. Alistair Campbell in chat is like, yeah, there's 1,000+ episodes of One Piece. Like, yeah, I'm never watching 1,000 episodes of anything. But to distill that story down and give me 8 episodes that feel like a good sampler of that, perfect. Give it to me. Um, so yeah, like I think Avatar, like I said, it's an incredibly well done version of that thing. I've seen all of season one. I will watch all of it because I dig it, but it's not surprising me because I know what happens and I know what's going to happen, which is okay.
So now they're doing seasons 2 and 3, and they'll be done.
They'll be done. Season three was the final season of that. But yeah, it's dominating on Netflix. They're very happy with it. Um, and it's well done. So huzzah for them. They did the thing and they got the viewers and they get to make more.
That's why they get the bucks.
That's
That
why
show
they get
is
the
done
bucks.
by our my padrone, by Teddy Biaselli. He does that. He does Wednesday. He did our Masters of the Universe shows. He's our major domo. He's so fucking inventive and fun, and for an exec, you can't honestly do better. And he's the one who's like, let's do this, all these shows that people like and whatnot. He was Stranger Things guy. His track record is nuts. Whenever you Zoom with him, he's got his posters on the wall for all the shows that are his, and you're like, oh my god, no wonder they won't let him go. So congrats to him. He's such a nice guy. Okay, what else is happening?
Josh Brolin, co-star of Dune Part Two, seems
AKA
like
Thanos himself.
Thanos himself. Seems like he will never stop shitting on Jonah Hex. Um, he did an interview with GQ magazine in which he said, "I won't ever stop shitting on Jonah Hex because it was a shitty fucking movie." Um, he takes ownership of the shittiness because he was a producer of said shittiness. Um, and he had been for a long time, since 2010 when that movie came out, kind of shitting on the movie's director, um, Jimmy Hayward. But he's had a recent change of heart and said that he reconnected with him and apologized for the director apologized for his part in the mess. And when Brolin said that he's just not interested in taking out the film's failure on Hayward, who then revealed to Brolin that he's got like bone cancer, has been having several surgeries. And Brolin said, it reminded me that you can't keep shitting on somebody. I don't know what the fuck's going on in his life. I mean, total facial reconstruction, the whole thing. Um, but yeah, it's he is not running away from the fact that he made a bad movie. And he was a producer on it, and he hired the director. And he said that Hayward was just too inexperienced to execute his vision for the comic book movie.
He's going to be the SNL host this week.
I know, I can't wait.
But I can add to the conversation. I saw that he's going to be the SNL host. He's been good on SNL. That's honestly how I judge most celebrities, whether they're good on SNL.
Can you make it happen on SNL?
He's good on SNL.
Um,
What else we got?
at one point, apparently, Alan Ritchson was up for the role of Thor. Alan Ritchson,
Reacher himself could have been Thor.
Jack Reacher himself could have been Thor. He told Men's Health that he was the front runner for the MCU role back in 2011 until he fucking woofed the audition. Ritchson said, I didn't take it seriously. I was like, they'll throw me the part if I look like the guy. Nobody really cares about acting. The answer was they did.
I mean, Hemsworth is like fucking charming as fuck. I mean, like, although, the first one they kind of didn't let him be as charming as he could be.
Yeah, I mean the first one was it was very Shakespearean and
Yeah,
not the funny kind of Shakespeare, and
right.
so he couldn't flex that part of him. But yeah, the casting directors apparently told Ritchson's team that the role had been his to lose, but Ritchson hadn't showed that he had the craft. And then it went on to Hemsworth, and who also does look the part. Ritchson apparently took the fallout from the audition far more seriously than the audition itself. He brought the Avengers scenes to an acting coach, where then he practiced them for like 3 weeks to figure out what he did wrong. He then enrolled in acting classes, and then sort of found his way through Hollywood and committed to the bit. He apparently was an early American Idol season, which I didn't know that. It was Aquaman on Smallville.
That we know.
He was on a Spike TV football comedy called Mountain State.
Yeah, with Frankie Shaw.
Yeah, and he said that I just sort of expected that there would be a cornucopia of comedies for me to choose from when that show got canceled, and nobody really wanted to see me for anything. Until he ends up on Titans, I believe, for a little bit, and then scores Reacher, and now he's
And the rest is history. In chat, a lot of folks are letting us know that right before the show began, I think the creator of Dragon Ball Z, I believe it is,
Akira Toriyama,
passed away.
I think he passed away on the 1st of March, but the news just broke today that he passed.
Shame. Big bucket of win. I know a lot of people adore Dragon Ball Z. He made a lot of people happy. His imagination fueled the imaginations of many.
Absolutely. I was never a Dragon Ball person. I am still not really a Dragon Ball person, but anybody who can create something like that out of thin air, and then nurture it and sustain it and continue to work on it and develop it into the behemoth that it is, that makes people happy. That people have found identity in. Like that's an amazing thing. And so if you are a DBZ person, if you're just a DB person, pour one out for Akira Toriyama.
Mellow Canuck in chat said you start feeling old when you start losing your creators. Yes, I wouldn't. I'm not gonna push back on that too hard. That's not incorrect. However, when you lose your creators, they leave this legacy that keeps them alive, even after they're gone. George Carlin's been gone for quite some time, but I fuck with this shit all the time, and it's like he's still here. It's sad when people go. I remember when John Hughes went, and I was like, what? Like you're talking about somebody who chronicled the voice of youth when nobody really gave a fuck, and he made a sound where he made movies that sounded more like real life than most other teen stuff that they were feeding us at the time. And he died way too young. So I know that feeling when you lose the creators who meant something to you, but that's the beauty of their creations, is that they live on. Testimony. Think about it. Like what's his name?
Akira Toriyama.
Akira Toriyama. Think about the long tail of tales left in his wake.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty powerful, man. It's pretty powerful when you could create, well, and maybe I'm speaking wishful thinking because I hope it'll happen when I'm fucking dead, but that the stuff goes on, you know, that's in a way it keeps people alive. Like my father didn't make a bunch of shit that now that he's been dead 20 years, I'm like, oh yeah, fucking, I can kick back and watch Dad's whatever or something like that. So yeah, hats off to a legend. All right, what else we got?
That's it, my friend.
Is that it?
That's all the news.
It's our news. There it is, kids. There's your news. Anybody else in chat got any news we want to hit?
Bam.
Let us know. I think we covered
I got a news story that will interest everybody paying attention right now.
Ooh.
March 25th, see Fat Man Beyond live at Scum and Villainy Cantina. It's a Monday night. Can
Kids,
get tickets.
What are you doing? You're sitting there watching the show. How many people are watching live right now? Like 1,500 people watching live right now. Kids, buy some tickets to see this show live at Scum and Villainy Cantina in Hollywood, man, on Hollywood Boulevard. You've heard the show. You've watched the show. Now be there in the room where it happens. The room where it happens. What's the date?
March 25th, Monday. March 25th.
Monday. On sale right now. Where can they get this? You get them at csmod.com. Probably not. It's probably not even up yet. Where do they get that?
It is up. Will Wilkins got it up for the show. csmod.com.
Look at that guy.
Merchant, great Will Wilkins. That's right. You can go to csmod.com. You can buy those tickets right now. Sell us out. Fast.
We had sold 10 tickets already before the show started. So get on it, and I will sweeten the deal for our listeners. I got I don't know if we can announce this. Mark did a modeling thing, and I stopped by the offices of that place and got the entire trunk of my car was filled with giveaway backpacks and wallets and notebooks of Star Wars and Marvel. So if you like Loki and you like Star Wars, we're going to be giving away a ton of stuff on the 25th at the Cantina.
I like Loki. I like Star Wars.
Lots of stuff.
Look at that, kids. So not only do you get to see a show, but you're possibly going to walk away with some free swag as well, courtesy of Banff Man himself.
It's and it's expensive stuff. It's not like we're not talking free T-shirts. We're talking like this stuff's like $100 each. So
it's for reals.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
There it is. Get your tickets right now. Right now. At smod.com. Also, while I'm thinking of it, today is Thursday. On Sunday, I will be over at KFI doing AM radio again.
You're back.
I got a passion for AM radio, kids. Like, remember how your weird uncle had a passion for ham radio back in the day? I am your weird uncle, and I've got a passion for AM radio. So they're letting me do a show on Sunday from 4 to 7 on KFI. Listen,
Breaker 19. Breaker 19.
That's right. Breaker 19. Got your ears on? It's Silent Bill coming at you. That's you can listen to that on the iHeartRadio app, even if you're not in Los Angeles.
Very nice.
In a very irritating way.
They
are asking.
They're running you exactly against the Oscars. The Oscars are from 4 to 10 on Sunday.
Oh my God! So we'll have something to talk about.
So you could literally talk about the Oscars live on air as it's happening.
Let me tell you, it's a news station. We got to do the news, and that's what the news. That's in the news. That'll force me to with the Oscars. Otherwise, I didn't realize it was this Sunday. I mean, I think I asked before, and I was like, didn't even register that I'm doing a radio show.
I will say, if you don't want to listen to Kevin on AM radio, Scum and Villainy has a killer Oscar party this Sunday, starting at 1 p.m.
What are you guys offering?
We're doing
your book and do something at Smodcastle. It was too late. What are you offering?
We're doing at 1 p.m. We're doing Oscars trivia, and then we're gonna do a few hours of that. Then we're doing Oscar ballots, so you'll get to fill out who you think's gonna win, top top person who gets the most right wins a prize at the end of the night. We're doing a best dressed and a most creative dressed prizes for people who come dressed up. So if best dressed, you've got your tux on. Most creative, maybe you've got your tux on, but you look like Deadpool. And we're going to do free popcorn, and we're going to do, what else do we got? Some photo ops, all sorts of really fun stuff that day. And we're showing it, so you can come and watch. Red carpet right down the street from where all the famous winners and losers are going to be. Who knows?
Hollywood's biggest night. And Paul Giamatti could fucking go to Scum and Villainy, put his Oscar down, and have a In-N-Out burger.
Exactly. If In-N-Out is full, I hear that Paul Giamatti might swing by Scum and Villainy.
I think we should start a campaign that when the Godzilla -1 effects guys win, which I think they will, that they celebrate at Scum and Villainy. That feels on brand.
Oh, that would be great.
That's a good idea. Kids,
I'll tell you what.
If they the Oscars, but not the Oscars, well, then go to Scum and Villainy Cantina right down the street from the Oscars.
If they win and they want to, ditch out on the governor's ball and come down to Scum and Villainy, which is walkable from the ceremony. I don't know if I'd want to walk down Hollywood Boulevard with an Oscar in my hand. If they wanted to come down, I'll buy their drinks all night. Free drinks for the Godzilla -1 people if they want to come down. Actually, I'll say this. And anybody who wants to come in with a real-life Oscar, I'll buy their drinks all night. We'll just put that out there.
You're not going to get a better offer than that. Like, yeah, they give out those gift baskets that are worth like $15,000, $20,000. But nobody offering you free drinks at the Scum and Villainy show up with an Oscar. You slap one on the fucking bar, he's going to slap one on the bar free. You throw back a blue milk, get all fucked up on Hollywood's biggest night.
Yeah. Going to the Vanity Fair party.
Yeah, that's right. Ain't no vanity at this fair party at Scum and Villainy. Check your ego at the door.
I love how Will in the episode description was like, Dune 2 deep dive. Oscars talk? I think the question mark is very apt. Just like, I don't have anything to say. RDJ is probably going to win.
We also have, I was just going to throw this out there. If you're not in New Jersey at Smodcastle Cinemas, the Saturday before St. Patrick's Day every day, we celebrate Sir Patrick Stewart. We invented a holiday. It's Sir Patrick's Day. Saturday the 16th. We've got Sir Patrick Stewart trivia. Talking to maybe getting some Star Trek Picard related people in to do a Q&A. Have not confirmed that, but I'll float that out there right now. And discounts on any of our Star Trek related drinks and food and things like that. So come celebrate Patrick Stewart. Also,
Jesus Christ. It's all happening at the Scum and Villainy Cantina, kids. Your fucking list is longer than mine, JC.
One last thing then. We're doing a huge Ghostbusters event on the 24th. If you like the Ghostbusters, March 24th, a couple days after it comes out, we're going to have the Ghostbusters at the bar. And you were talking about...
What Ghostbusters are going to be at the bar?
The LA Ghostbusters are going to be at the bar.
Is
Dan
that like
Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, Bill Murray?
Or is that like a women's basketball team?
Those are the New York Ghostbusters, I think. We're going to have the LA versions, which is like, Cosmo and Matt. Yeah. But I wrote, you were saying that you wrote something. For the first time since, 2018, I sat down and I wrote a short script this weekend. 8 pages, so not crazy. It's called Force Ghostbusters, and there is a Force ghost haunting Scum and Villainy, and our bartender has to call the new Ghostbusters franchise the LA Ghostbusters, who are the low rent version of they paid their franchise fee to Dan Aykroyd in New York and got their proton packs in the mail, and they're coming down for their first job to get rid of the Force ghosts haunting Scum and Villainy. So we're going to release that on the 22nd.
You're shooting it?
Andrew's going to shoot it. Andrew and I wrote it, and I'm going to direct it. So you can check that out on March 22nd. We'll have that up.
So
nice.
Not enough to have Star Wars coming after you next fucking. You're gonna have Sony up your ass with a fucking magnifying glass and a fucking proton pack. That's awesome. Fucking, I like when you do little video things for the place. Like I've seen your little spots that you shoot.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's good times. That's the way to do it. That ain't working. That's the way to do it.
Somebody's getting sucked off at the bar.
Yeah. All right. Give us some questions, JC.
All right. I have a Q&A question that I wanted to ask, which is what popcorn bucket would you guys make to get people into Smodcast cinemas? Like, what's like a Tusk bucket? What would you guys do to get people into Smodcast cinemas?
You do a bong saber.
Mm-hmm.
You could do a cock knocker fist.
Mm-hmm. You fuck that.
Yeah, fuck yeah. You can do, a little Silent Bob coat.
Oh yeah,
it goes around your popcorn bucket. A bucket coat. You can do in the 4:30 movie. The manager of the place has a car called the Movie Mobile, which looks like the 1960s Batmobile, and instead of the flames that come out the back, the atomic thrusters and shit, it's a popcorn bucket.
What about the monkey from Dogma? Right? Is it Dogma? Strike back.
Yeah, I guess you could totally. It's weird. I wonder if people. I guess you can't not think about the orangutan when you think about Strike Back, but oddly enough, I never do, and yet it's at the center of the whole fucking.
Yeah. Ooh, Lord Movie in chat was like an Iron Bob helmet bucket.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
That makes a lot of sense. A movie, a golden calf.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Buddy Christ. That's true, man. Fucking a Buddy Christ. Who wouldn't need fucking popcorn out of a Buddy Christ bucket?
Hell in a handbasket, heaven with a Buddy Christ bucket.
Exactly. Yeah, I like all those. A Tusk bucket, that's I'd be all for that, but fucking that'd be scary. Most people would be like, I don't want to eat popcorn out of that. It's fucking got stitches all over it. Looks like a circumcision gone wrong. What do we got? What's the question?
All right, Melanie M. Takashi Yamazaki hinted that if he makes a sequel to Godzilla -1, he would like to have a kaiju battle. Which monster do you pick for the sequel?
I mean, I'm a huge Mecha Godzilla fan. So I might. Then again, I also love King Ghidorah, but Ghidorah. I think I can make in that world, particularly in the Godzilla -0 world. I think you can make Mecha Godzilla work better, right? Like a storyline where like we got to build our own fucking Godzilla to take him down. So they build the Mecha Godzilla, and he goes fucking nuts, and then he starts turning on his creators, and then Godzilla's got to save them and shit. I don't know. I'm not the writer. You come up with it, but Mecha Godzilla. That's what I'd say. You, Mark?
I went Mothra.
Oh,
Mothra is cool. I always dug Mothra, and I like the suddenly your enemy, much like King Ghidorah. Suddenly it's flying. You're adding a whole different angle of attack that you've got to deal with. But yeah, no, I always dug Mothra. Mothra's super fucking cool. Because I remember the first time I saw him, it's fight, but then he webs them all up and the fucking all that spiderweb shit. And then Godzilla can do that fucking badass atomic breath shit. Yeah.
Fry him like a fucking moth to the flame.
Yeah.
A lot of Gamera in chat. People love that turtle.
Keep fucking that turtle.
That's one down, JC.
We did it.
Bam. From Max Flay, what comic book movie would you want David Lynch to direct?
Ooh.
Swamp Thing. David Lynch on Alan Moore's Swamp Thing.
Mm. Yeah,
That'd be
that's good. Fuck that.
That'd be pretty awesome. What do you got?
Clayface.
Mm.
I think, it's a Hollywood story, and he kind of likes a good Hollywood story, and it's super fucking fucked up. And it's all about, I mean, that could also be a Cronenberg movie at the same time, but I think in Lynch's hands, it just gets super fucking weird.
You could fight, or you could do Batman where he fights Copperhead, and Copperhead could be Nick Cage. He could be like, "Hey, my snake skin jacket. Did I ever tell you this jacket represents my individuality, my belief, and personal freedom? Only about 1,000,000 times." Bring us back, Banff, man. What you got?
Banff. This was a question, but I'm just going to throw it out there as an idea. Lord Mooby wanted to know if there will be a Chris Hemsworth hologram at Chronicon, and if there's not, there should be.
I saw that.
That's my end.
I think, well, we've got that footage, so I guess we just have to turn it into a hologram. But I'm going to bring that up, man. That's a good idea. We're doing it.
And then the last question, my favorite of the night, W. Benin wanted to know if you guys could, if you guys were to host Saturday Night Live together, pitch a skit that you would want to do. So who's hosting Saturday Night Live this week? Well, it's Kevin and Mark from Fat Man Beyond. What is the skit that you guys pitch as the hosts?
I want to do the sketches that I wrote in high school to perform with Ernie and Mike and see if they would work in the modern age. I think they still would. I would update the references, or maybe not. Maybe it's funnier if I just leave them as 1988 references and shit. But that would mean that we would do a sketch where an EPA investigator, that's right, and that's 1987, kids.
Ooh, look how topical you were.
Right? That's
government
what I mean.
Shenanigans.
I have my eye on the future. An EPA investigator comes to investigate the factory run by Ernie the Keebler Elf and Sprout from the Jolly Green Giant products and stuff like that. Another sketch we did was James Bond is being held, and they bring in a master torturer, and it was Ronald McDonald, and he had the Hamburglar with him. Another sketch I did was Randall P. McMurphy from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest goes to the insane asylum, and in the insane asylum are the Trix Rabbit and Sonny the Cocoa Puff Bird, who've gone crazy because they couldn't get the fucking cereal. So I'd be doing those sketches, man.
I want to see that sketch. I want to see that sketch bad enough that I bamfed on. I pushed the button.
Yeah.
That was pretty exciting.
It exists. There is like video of it. You could see it. Or is there or no? I know I have video of Grease when we did Grease. I don't think we have any video of the talent show. And I did that freshman year, man. It was it's so weird. Above me over here, where is it? Maybe over in this area up here. Yes, I think you'll see a bunch of like white. There's a stuffed Trix Rabbit that Kim Lochran gave me in high school, and a pair of rabbit ears, which is like two fucking wire hangers wired together with socks on them that I wore when I portrayed the Trix Rabbit in 1985. God, I throw nothing out. Ernie played Randall P. McMurphy, so he did his best Jack Nicholson, and I played the Trix Rabbit, and Michael Bellicose played Sonny the Cocoa Puffs Bird. Yeah, that's what I would do. My old sketches, because oh my God, fucking, go back in time and tell young Kevin Smith, like, your dream comes true. You do right for Saturday Night Live for one night, but whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, why one night? And then the older me is like, you do a bunch of shit, like a lot of shit, like your career is like an amorphous blob. There's no definition to it whatsoever. It's kind of like your body when you take your clothes off at age 53. And one of the many things that you get around to is you get to do one night on SNL. That'd be nice. I'm sure the young me would be like, why won't you take off the hat? I'm like, don't worry about it.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine. maybe don't wear a hat as much when you're young. Maybe let the sun and the light and shit, vitamin A grow.
Touch some grass.
Yeah, exactly. You won't need the hat so much in your old age. The hat, you see, is like your Kiss makeup. Makes you look oh my God, what about you? What sketches do you write?
I mean, I think I want to do a sassy black judge competition.
Let's hear what that would sound like.
I'll allow it, but you watch your step.
I'm so in.
Me and Keenan are the two rival. It's like the dueling pianos in a bar, but we're now the dueling judges in a courtroom. And you're suing somebody for copyright infringement because they stole Jay and Silent Bob. And so you've come to this sort of showbiz court to get a ruling, but you got to face the sassy black judges.
I love that. That could catch on, and so much so that they do it without you there.
I was like, what's Keenan doing? Sassy black judge.
And this week, Usher's joining him, and you're like, what?
Fuck you.
It's my character.
Like, Eddie Murphy's
Usher does it on roller skates and takes his shirt off. You're like, well, I have no interest in that.
And I kind of want to do like, in the vein of one of those behind the music sketches that they do quite a bit, the making of Cameo's Candy. That song is like 8 minutes long and has 3 fucking words in it. And so to get Keenan to play Mars Blackman, that was his name? Yeah, I think it was.
Mars Blackman is Spike Lee, and She's Gotta Have It.
And what the fuck is it's Mars something, right? I'm not crazy. The lead singer of Cameo.
The guy who's like, word up, baby. Yeah.
She's like candy. She's a baby when she walk, and she feels it when she talk. She's a candy. Larry Blackman. There it is.
Don't do the voice.
I have to do the voice. Without the voice, it's nothing.
Yes, in chat they said Larry Blackman.
Larry Blackman. I knew the Blackman, I guess, was the right part, not the Mars. But yeah, just the cod piece and everything. If he's like a Shakespearean actor and this is his singing voice, ow, wow, wow, wow. Hello,
bird out.
My name is Larry Blackman. Bird. That was one of my favorite parts of the cruise, though, was getting to do the role that I got to do in the Moose Jaws script read.
You played C Money.
C Money. Like, what can we do with C Money? I know. What if he's a filthy, erudite British dude?
So were you going for the cameo guy?
No, I was going for Matt Berry from What We Do in the Shadows. I was going for like a very arch. What's wrong with these gluten-free bitches?
If you wanted to win my heart, you would have went for Fred Rerun Berry. Did the lines, yes, and then danced. Oh my God, there's a whole generation of kids don't even fucking know. You have no Roger, no rerun, no rent.
Yeah, they don't get it.
They don't know about the sassy young sister named Dee, who always had something to fucking say.
No, they won't ever get that.
What's happening? There it is, kids. Did you have a good time tonight? Well, shit. That's because because of Mark, because of JC, maybe a little bit because of me. Good times to be had here at Fat Man Beyond. If you're around this Saturday night in the Burbank area in Hollywood, come see me and Ralph do Hollywood Babylon at Flappers Comedy Club. Tickets at csmod.com. Next week, I'll be in Jersey doing stuff at Smodcastle, kids, including a Jersey Girl screening. So come out and see that, the comedy show on the 16th. Oh, what merry times it will be. Mark, where do you want to send people? You're like, straight to hell.
Yeah. To the Snoochie Boochies. I hope that helps you, Rusty Shackelford. You just wanted to hear me say Snoochie Boochies one time.
Ooh, John Facemere just came up with a good suggestion for the popcorn bucket. Kevin Smith.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
White fucking upside down baseball cap. They're cheap as fuck. You can get them at Lids.
Boom. Pre-soaked in sweat.
Yeah, exactly. Makes the popcorn just a little tastier.
It's a little salty. I like it. I got nobody to send nowhere. Other than Mace Windu #2 is out next week. You should go to a comic book store and buy it. You should maybe even go to Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash and buy it.
Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash, kids, entering its 27th year.
Holy
brick
shit.
and mortar comic book. I mean, never mind like fucking all the bullshit movies and crap I make that nobody likes. I have been a brick and mortar retailer for nearly 30 fucking years, and that's a side hustle. That plan was always to like one day retire and run a comic book store, but the way things worked out, the comic book store has been happening concurrent with the career and stuff. But yeah, you buy that comic book there. You know what else is coming out? Quick Stops #3, Volume 2, #3. Continuing the movie story. So the next two, I think the next issue 3 comes out next week, and then one more issue, and that's all done. And I saw the hardcover. It's sweet. It's got Jim Mahfood cover. It's beautiful.
Nice. When is the cruise episode going up? Do we know?
No, Will. I talked to Will because there were some trims I wanted to make, like script readings on take out and stuff like that. So he's getting the drives, he said, this week, so he'll chop it up and people will be able to see what that looked like.
Cool. Because people have been asking for the Madam Web review. I'm like, oh, we reviewed it on the boat.
True. So true. Once again, another movie that I didn't see. Mark reviewed it. Mark took one for the team and shit.
Boy, did I ever.
Mark took one for the team, and then afterwards he cleaned up with a Hello Tushy. HelloTushy.com, kids. They were our sponsor tonight. Want to clean your asshole? And that's not me selling something. I'm saying, you want to clean your fucking asshole? Do it with
HelloTushy.com.
Exactly.
I got another asshole. He's sitting right over there. Hello.
One more time. He just passed away. The creator of Dragon Ball Z,
Akira Toriyama.
Our condolences. And also for those of you who've been Dragon Ball Z fans and whatnot, our condolences. Sucks to lose somebody that makes something so dear to so many hearts.
Indeed.
But we have the legacy of the work to always celebrate. Keep the memory alive. Leave something in your wake, kids. Something positive. I don't mean like do horrible things. I mean like leave something, write your name on the wall of life, and not in a shitty way. In a positive way, so that when you're gone, people are like, oh, remember this thing? And they fucking bring you back to life, just like that stuff. It's just like Coco. Remember Coco? Remember me.
I was like, the drink? I mean, okay. I do love me some
like hot cocoa. So tasty. Oh, the fucking Disney classic where, remember the one uncle's like, if they don't remember me, I'm going to fucking die. And they're like, you're already dead. And like, but I'm going to have a second death. And that one's permanent. That's some scary shit. I've always been terrified of death. Disney found a way to make me double terrified of death because in death, you could still die again. I'm like, what the fuck?
I love that I didn't go to that Coco either. Like the hierarchy of Cocos in my head was hot drink, Irene Cara.
That's true. There could be only one Coco. Remember her name.
Indeed. She's like, I don't want to take it off. I don't want to take it off.
Well, yeah, that was that horrible moment in Coco's life. But Coco's career shouldn't be reduced to that horrible moment. She was transcendent.
Nobody puts Coco in the corner.
Yeah. Oh my God. Coco, like if they did a true sequel to Fame, Coco probably, became like Diane Warren. Love lift us up where we belong. She wrote like a zillion Oscar songs and shit.
For reals.
Um, and you know what? In my version of fucking Fame, her and Bruno eventually hook up and get married.
No, that's sweet.
Remember, his dad was like, "He likes you," and he's like, "Dad!" Bum, 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 bum. That's my piano. Bum, 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 bum.
I'm gonna go to my room and write songs.
Yeah, fuck you, Dad. I'm gonna work on my synth. Bum, 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 bum. I might watch Fame now. It got me all hot, turned up for fucking Fame.
I haven't seen Fame in like 40 years.
Bro, it is an amazing fucking motion. Alan Parker is a fantastic filmmaker, and that movie still fucking works. I gotta tell you, it's a dark film. Like
that I remember.
I mean, and it's a high school movie. They cover 4 years of high school at Theorello LaGuardia School of the Arts and shit. But it's a primer for, fucking the business, man. It's like it ain't all fucking fun and games and shit. That movie still holds up. I remember seeing that movie as a kid, and still I was like, all right, like I don't give a shit. I do want to be famous, even though they can make it look horrible at times and shit. It prepared me. I was ready because of Fame. When I entered this business and this business tried to fuck with me, I was like, hey, I saw Fame. Fuck off.
Get on with me, girl.
Yeah. I was like, you're going to remember my name. I was like, Hot Lunch.
Leroy.
We've lost everybody. They're like, you know what, kids? If you haven't seen Fame, and let's be honest, our audience is probably like in their 60s like us. But if you're perchance like, some 20 something, 30, even a 30 something that's never fucked with the movie Fame, do yourself a favor and watch it. It'll still work, even though that movie was made in like 1982 or 82. That movie still works today. No cell phones in it. Other than that,
you know what movie I saw while we're struggling to not end the show? I saw a movie.
It's always as the show ends, it's like, oh God, if only I could have lived just a little longer, and we just try to stretch it out.
The movie Blackberry. Have you seen this movie with Glenn Howerton from?
No, but I love the director. He directed this movie. It's called oh, good Lord, why am I? Well, he did Project Avalanche, but he did The Dirties, which was a movie that years ago, like Kevin Smith presents The Dirties. It's fantastic. He did a web show years ago called Nirvana the Band. But that's the director. It's written by this wonderful writer named Noah, who also he's like the kids who wrote Scott and Larry, the kids who wrote like
Karaszewski and Alexander.
He writes about real life stuff, but like this happened, isn't that fucked up? And like, so the Blackberry movie, no wait, did he write the Blackberry movie? He wrote the Tetris movie, my bad. He also wrote a movie called Monkey Selfie, which is about the macaque who took a picture of itself, and it was all over the internet. I don't know who wrote Blackberry, but I know the director. God, Matt Johnson, that's his name. Wonderful fucking director. I love The Dirties. It was a movie about a high school shooting set in Cuba. And it's like their characters are warm and wonderful, and then obviously things go south and stuff. But yeah, he's a wonderful filmmaker.
You should watch Blackberry. Blackberry.
I've been wanting to. It's been on my queue where I'm like, I'm going to watch that, particularly for him. And it's also got what's his name in it.
Glenn Howerton, Michael Ironside is in it. Like out of nowhere, it's like, fuck, is that Michael Ironside?
What's the other guy? Canadian kid, friends with Seth.
Oh, Jay Baruchel.
He's in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Strong cast, but it goes down super fucking easy. But it is of that class of movie of here's a real thing that happened, and it made me think of the project that you and I are working together. In that here's a tectonic shift in the way we led our lives, and how one business had to be both created and then somehow self-destructed itself to make room for something else. It's very like Social Network, but about a gizmo, about the literal titular BlackBerry. Super worth the watch. Like when you're on a plane, like it goes down super easy. So when you're going back to Jersey, that's the time.
There it is. I'm watching it. You sold me, man.
Mhm.
You sold me. You know what's weird is now we're in this period where it feels like we're feeling the effects of those strikes.
Mm.
There's not a lot of new going on. Although Shogun has hit Hulu, and a lot of people in chat have been saying, "Oh, watch Shogun." Did you watch episode one?
I saw episode one, and I very much liked episode one. I mean, episode one is, I mean, they
I was a
spared no
big fan
expense.
of the original when I was a kid. And it had,
Yeah,
remember the original had Orson Welles doing the narration?
which is exactly who you want to be
Yes.
telling a story of feudal Japan. Get me, get me, Unicron. Um, but no, it's really, really good, and it's really well wrought. You know, we're living in this weird world where like both Blue Eye Samurai and Shogun are on the air, you know, within like 3 months of each other, and there's these stories about Japan through interesting eyes, um, that do make it feel, you know, it conjures a world that used to be and no longer is. It gave me big Game of Thrones vibes in that there's a lot of names you need to know. There's a lot of places this story goes. But it's so far it's really, really strong. I got to dig into episodes 2 and 3.
Yeah, that's happening. It's out there, kids. Shogun's happening. Kabuki Kid says James Clavell's Shogun. That's what it was called back in the day.
Indeed.
One with Richard Chamberlain. I remember him going Wakari Mas. Like, you know, he learns Japanese throughout the. It's almost like Kirk. Well, double dumbass on you. Speaking of Kirk, it's coming up on Mr. Shatner, our Keldor from Masters of the Universe Revolution. It's coming up on William Shatner's 93rd birthday.
God bless him.
March 21st, there's a thing happening out here where they're screening his movie in Culver City and then having a party for him that I think I'm going to be at. Get to raise a toast to the captain. 93.
I saw the thing that
spry as a motherfucker. You would never know this man's 93. Like, honestly, I ain't just saying that. Like, interact with him in a room, it's like guys like maybe 65 or some such shit.
wow. Good living.
California 93. Something to be said for this state. It's very expensive, but
and can sustain.
I guess that's what we can say. But it also keeps you young. Remember how fucking young Stan was? He passed away. He was almost 96. He didn't look 96.
No.
Most of his life, he was the entire time I know him, he was an old man. And he never looked all that old. I want to be that kind of old man. 96. Yeah. Everyone thinks you're in your 70s.
Take it. Yeah, so Legion M had a flyer for that event for his birthday party, and you're hosting and all of that stuff. I was like, oh, I'll go there. Yeah,
that's right. There's a Legion M event. David Baxter was the one who said, "Hey, you want to do it?" Max Flay says John Williams is still young at 92. Yeah, you're not kidding.
Yep.
You know, Neko Samurai says Rita Moreno is another 90+ actor that seems 30. Did you see she just came out and she was like, "Yeah, I dated Elvis. He liked what he saw." She literally said that. I was like, "Whoa, Rita Moreno." I said, she was on the Electric Company when we were kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
What a varied career. And she has an Oscar.
She's got the EGOT.
She's got the EGOT, and she was fucking on Electric Company.
Yeah,
she
and fucking on Elvis's dick.
It was cool.
Yeah, I always enjoy the weird, lurid details of like the weird sex of like old Hollywood. You know, like, you know, when you first discover that like Richard Pryor had sex with Marlon Brando, you're like, huh, 60s were a hell of a fucking time, I guess. Good for everybody.
Or as Rick James famously said, cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Kabuki Kid says, "Hey, you guys." Now, for a bunch of people, they're like, "Oh, that's the Goonies." But that was not the Goonies first. That was literally from the Electric Company. So when they did Goonies, they were doing a pop culture shout out to the Electric Company. And the Goonies, I think, outlived the Electric Company to the point where most cats don't remember that is from the Electric Company.
Indeed.
She the
As
one
is-
that said it in the beginning. I think it was Rita Moreno who like led that show off by being like, "Hey, you guys,
Yeah.
we're gonna turn it on. We're gonna bring you the power." It's a hot fucking song.
Fucking Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman as well.
Easy reader.
They should put those two together in a movie.
I'd
Together
like
again for the first time since the Electric Company.
it's 1973.
It'd be even better if it was a Spider-Man movie and Morgan Freeman was dressed like Easy Reader. And they had a brief interaction.
Bam. I forgot. I do have a picture of me hugging George Lucas to prove
where is
to
it?
the internet.
Look at that.
There we go.
Aww.
I mean,
Me.
that's almost like the Tony Stark. This proves that Tony Stark has a heart. Look at that.
Are you touching his
How
face?
fucking, what are you, 12 years old? Look at how you look like a cure.
I was 20. That was 2005, so I was 24 then. I'm 43 now.
Oh my God.
Half
Was this
a
your
lifetime ago.
MCR phase? Is that your fucking welcome to the Black Parade look?
Yeah, it does. It looks like I'm touching his face. I have my hand on like a rock pillar, so because I'm shaking.
Nick, is that okay?
Look at that, man. Look, baby JC in the arms of the creator himself.
No, that's beautiful.
Yeah, Pixar didn't happen. I got lucky. I had somebody snap one.
There it is, kids. Fucking yeah, you had an entire show and you got to see fucking JC's baby pictures. Did you have a good time? Well, shit. That's
Well,
the guy who was just here who brings us into your homes. JC, give it up for Banff Man. Give it up for Will Wilkins. You can't see him, but he gets us into your homes as well. Give it up to good folks at Hello Tushy. And of course, give it up to the guy.
almost.
I mean, fuck, it's unbelievable. I gotta put a post-it note on my computer going, point this way, asshole.
It's that way.
Yeah, truly.
Always
Give it
that
up
way.
for marvelous Marc Bernardin.
Glad to be of service.
Kids, don't forget, so many shows, so little time. Here this weekend in Los Angeles, next weekend in New Jersey. Who knows where else I'll be? They're announcing a bunch of shows for, I think, like June, May, or April and June. Well, back on the road, kids. Could be coming to a city near you. Keep an eye on csmod.com. And always keep an eye on our show.
Yeah, and if you're in a city near us on March 25th, come on down to the Cantina. We'll have a good time.
Tickets at csmod.com, man. Come see me and Mark do Fat Man Beyond live. Hey, Banff Man, can you see how many tickets have sold right now?
Let me check real quick.
Because if enough hasn't sold, we'll just sit here until people buy 10 more. Like we'll guilt everyone into it. Buy a ticket or we're not going to end the show. Do it.
Let's see.
He's looking that information. It's coming on. It's coming along now, Con. Through NowCon.
You have to learn why things work on a starship.
I am. Look, don't get me wrong. Obviously, I'm a big Star Wars guy, but like I respect the shit out of the guy that rewires the fucking Kobayashi Maru test just because he refuses to lose.
I don't like to lose.
Wow, 21 tickets. We sold 11 tickets during the show.
Thank you, boys and girls.
Look what you did. Act fast, kids. How many sells us out?
75.
There you go. 55 tickets left to get before March 25th. Is that the date?
March 25th.
There you go. There you go.
Yours is the superior intellect.
Yeah. I'm laughing at your superior intellect. Let me tell you something. That line is in Masters of the Universe Revolution, and I wrote that into the script, and I was so delighted when he said it. But he did about 6 different versions of it, and that one was the closest one to a repeat of a command performance, which he doesn't like to do. Most actors don't like to repeat themselves.
Yeah.
you know, it was, I wanted that line so badly. I'm laughing at the superior intellect. And he gave me it more like, I'm laughing at the superior intellect. You know, just definitely Shatner enough.
And you can't direct him to be like, say it like you said it in the movie.
Well, you could have stopped it. You can't direct him. He's his own director. He knows exactly what to do. You know, there's nothing I could give him that would improve a William Shatner performance. It'd be like that moment in that documentary, the Greatest Night in Pop, where fucking Stevie Wonder is doing Bob Dylan to Bob Dylan's face, going like, "It's you make a better day, it's you and me." And Bob Dylan's like, "Oh yeah, that's you.
That's what I sound like.
That's me." Still remains like one of the greatest watches of the last fucking 6 months.
If you guys haven't seen it, The Greatest Night in Pop on Netflix is a phenomenal documentary.
Yeah, wonderful. All right, then, kids, we just keep fucking going.
Pull on this taffy.
Like the Energizer Bunny. We're gonna do it. We're gonna end the show. There it is, kids. There's your Fat Man Beyond for this week. For Fat Man Beyond, I'm Kevin Smith.
I am Marc Bernardin.
Tune in next time, kids. Same fat time, same fat channel, smodcast.com or
youtube.com/Kevin Smith.
Jeff's kiss, my friend. This is from the cat. Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the AKA Ask Kev Anything.
Every saga has a 10-year anniversary, ladies and gentlemen, and this is what happens when Jay and Silent Bob get old. I'm Kevin Smith. Kissing you!